Okay, I'm going to explain what happened. So the night before this daytime video, I was out at our new property where I am going to be building my house. And right where you're looking here is the pad, or where the pad will be poured here soon for the slab of the home. So there are no homes anywhere back in here. There's nothing. This is 76 acres of raw land, basically. So that night before, we were seeing lights all through the trees, everywhere above us, below us, all around, and lights so close in the tree areas that there would be no possible way of that being a light to somebody's home or business or street or anything like that. The nearest house wasn't even in this direction. There's nothing back here. So I'm going to go from here and explain that I came back the next day, and I was trying to give everyone an idea of the daytime area and what it looked like, just to let people know, like, it wouldn't make sense for the lights I saw the night before happening. But what happened then, that day, is even more mind-blowing. So here I am basically showing where I was, and I'm going to hit play here. Actually, let me...
in broad daylight. And this is what I'm getting right
So basically, this is me kind of showing, and all of a sudden, this light here pops up in the tree. A light out of nowhere. You know, there's nothing there before, as you can see. No light, no light. Okay, so say like we even just do this. You don't see a light yet, right? I mean, at the very beginning here, there's no light there. And again, there's nothing back here that it could have been. So I'm going to go from here and move on along. And as you can see, number one, what's up with the rainbow tree here? I mean, there's always a flippin' design and pattern to these things, these entities, whatever they are. They, in my opinion, they mess with the shapes of the trees. They can part the trees. They can do whatever they want. And the leaves will usually lay flat side up, oddly enough, or back side up, I should say, in certain areas, and that's usually how you can tell. I just noticed this. I wanted to point that out. And then I always see the three or four that stand up taller, the sprigs at the top. So going back to this, though, I was sitting there and I was explaining what the night before was about. And then all of a sudden, here I go. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I noticed this light suddenly emerge from within the trees. Okay, so let me just play this so you can get an idea of what I'm speaking of here. So I'm zoomed in and I'm like, wait, what is this? It's flashing, it's blinking. There's nothing back there that should be doing that. So I roll my window down. So this is me rolling my window down right there. You can see that window come down because I'm like, something's going on. So the window goes down and I go back to this light that suddenly emerged out of nowhere.
Sorry. Yeah, you got that much, right?
Well, that's not really what I meant to do. Hold on.
Jesus Christ. What do you got?
Anyways. So here's me kind of explaining, but then all of a sudden there's this flashing light that would almost be like a strobe light.
I mean, it's for you, not for me.
But it gets better. Watch this light travel down the tree branch and over towards me, and you'll actually see the tree branches start moving. But you see that, right? It just jumped over. So all of a sudden, okay, so we're back to, there's a flashing light in the tree, and I'm like, what the crap's going on? And all of a sudden, we go from that to...
No blinking light, huh?
Watch it travel.
Come out?
Light will begin to travel.
It's very obvious.
And keep in mind, I'm not moving.
I mean, it's for you, not for me.
And all of a sudden, bam, it just starts going down the tree branch. Right about here.
You suck, though.
There it goes. That's how it moves through. And now it's over here versus over here.
All right, let's see.
So I'm going to replay that again. Let me get back to where it is just in the trees all of a sudden. There's me just like, what is going on? I'm rolling my window down.
Hey, little filler. I am not afraid of you.
Being tough. I'm not really that
tough. You got that
much,
right?
You can see that top of that tree just then move, I would say, right?
Over here in broad daylight.
So,
and this is what I'm getting right here. Just like the other night.
And remember, I just pointed out that arch in the tree area. Right before the flashing light, I was showing you all the arch up there.
Hey, little filler. I am not afraid of you.
You don't see arch?
Yeah, you got that much,
see
right?
That movement in that?
No fear. No fear.
Okay,
I've got you.
Once again. So here's me initially we go. Perfect arch in the tree, right? Perfect arch out of nowhere for no reason. It doesn't usually look like that. Actually, it doesn't look like that at all. So we're moving along. Now I want you to keep your eye on this arch at the same time that light shows up. And as it moves, keep your eye on the arch
We're
and the
broad
middle of the
daylight.
trees. So
And
the
this is
arch
what
to
I'm
the
getting
right,
right here.
up above,
Just like the other
this
night.
thing starts flashing, and I didn't notice that day either. So I started looking later. Window goes down. I start talking.
Hey, little
fella.
filler. I am not afraid of you.
I'm not afraid of you. Now watch the arch up
Yeah,
there.
you
Just
got
moves.
that much, right?
And
No
right
fear.
about the time
no
that moves,
fear.
you
Got
see
Jesus
the branches
Christ.
start
What do you
moving
got?
in my
Little blinking
direction.
light, huh?
And this light will
No
now
balls to
start
come out?
traveling over
It's very obvious.
through the
Not a
branches,
big deal,
and
really.
you will see tree movement
it's
as
for
it
you,
comes
not for
towards
me.
me, almost like an entity going through the trees. So
You
here we go.
suck,
It's
though.
going to start traveling here any minute.
I know that much.
You can see the sway of the trees here and there,
Yeah,
which
you're
to
gonna
me
fall
indicates
here,
them, the movement of the entity
let's
or
see.
whatever it is. The arch is clearly back.
Guys,
but
that's where my new house
you
is
saw a big
going to
movement
be.
in that. And by the way, you see the
Notice I'm
movement here in
planted
the
right
tree to
behind
the
where
left
my
here.
cat is there.
There was no wind blowing that day. Not at all. Not an ounce of wind blowing. And that's why you only see movement in the trees here and there. And not all the trees moving and blowing at once. So keep in mind, we're going backwards here again. We got the light there. I'm speaking to it. And go back.
Hey, little filler. I am not
Watch
afraid
the
of
tree
you.
above with the arch. Totally
Yeah,
just
you
blows
got that
over
much,
all of a
right?
sudden, and it kind of comes this
No
way.
fear.
Right about
No
that
fear.
time,
Got Jesus Christ.
this
What do you
light
got?
will start traveling
Little blinking light,
to its
huh?
left, or to my left,
balls
or your
come out?
left.
It's very obvious. Not a big deal,
But
really.
here we go.
I mean, it's for you, not for me.
So it starts moving right about here.
You suck,
Watch it go
though.
down the branches. There it
I know
goes.
that much.
So you saw that. Now it's in the branches there, somewhere else. It's going from branch to branch. Now watch these trees around me as it comes towards me.
Guys,
They'll
that's where my
start
new
moving
house is
right
going
here.
to be.
And now those
Notice I'm
branches are
planted
moving.
right behind
No
where
other
my
branches
cat is
but
there.
those.
Whatever
Because
that-
it's now
I mean,
in my face, basically,
alright with
is the
it.
only way to explain it. So going back, keep your eye on the light this time only. And anyone that can explain
No
how
balls
light
come
would do
out?
this with me not even moving
It's very obvious.
at this
Not a
point.
big deal, really.
It's very hard. I wasn't
I mean,
keeping it
it's
very
for you,
steady
not
because it
for
was a little
me.
freaky. Didn't expect it in the daytime, not in broad daylight, never.
You suck.
I knew I saw it the night before. I was trying to give everyone an explanation, but as you can see, there it is. It's flashing now in the tree limbs. Going back slowly here. And you can see that movement. Something in there moves. But there's nothing behind that but more trees, guys. Cross my heart. Actually, I show that in my video, in my longer one.
I know that
So
much.
you can see it clearly move. It comes out of that blue hole area where it initially sat,
What do you got?
right there, where the
Little blinking
flashing is
light,
going
huh?
on.
No balls to come out?
And it travels
It's very obvious.
literally
Not a big
through the
deal, really.
branches and
I mean,
towards
it's for
me.
you, not for me.
And even though I couldn't see the flashing light anymore after a certain part,
You suck,
I could
though.
see the tree movement very clearly, and it's
know
also
that
that
much.
feeling I get. But I mean, there you go.
You're gonna
It's
fall.
no longer there. It's over here now. And then this is me going, okay, I see movement. I see movement in the
Guys, that's where
trees,
my
and
new
that's usually what I
house
look
is
for.
going
And
to
then,
be.
of course, all of a sudden, right here,
Notice I'm planted
this
right
tree
behind
starts
where
wildly
my
moving.
cat is there.
So, therefore,
I mean,
that's exactly what's going
alright
on.
with it.
And I've known this for a
You guys
while,
know
and
long
this
now.
is the best way I can explain it to all of you. Is by the movement of the trees, by the pattern of the leaves, and when the backside is face up, which does happen, they're lighter than the rest of the leaves. Certain leaves will turn, especially at night. You will notice it. But as I'm leaving, I'm looking because
Gravitational waves
the
much in the
sky's
class?
weird as well. But I always watch the
Little
trees because
electromagnetic something going
sometimes
on.
I'll see them
Yep, I'd
continue
say
to
so.
follow me,
And this, my
for
friends, is
ways
where I was
until I start
just
going fast or
Sunday
exit the
night.
area that has trees. Let's put it like that.
Sorry, Bob. I was right
So
there.
yeah, kind of that.
Right
And
there,
that was
that
still
bad.
all. Here I am showing you
Yep,
what part of the
as you
area.
can
It's
see
like
there,
there's
there's
nothing
nothing
here.
around.
There's nothing out
For
here.
miles, just
Desolate.
to show you.
Completely desolate.
Just to show you, it's pretty
And
desolate.
I mean, there's your
Just
proof
saying,
right
it's
there. I
pretty
mean, there's
desolate out here.
nothing. This is on the other side here. You should be able to see the back side of where that light would have been.
Wide
There's
open,
nothing
actually.
there.
More
That
wide
would have been the
open.
back area
More
there.
further out.
But nothing is there, guys. Nothing. So, I mean, how does one arrive here? Explaining the night before, you don't see a blinking light yet at all, and then all of a sudden, I do notice
right here.
all of a sudden this
It's like
blinking
the other
start
night.
happening. And there's no mistaking that. And that's not sky, that's not blue sky behind it, by the way. I mean, otherwise you'd see blue sky throughout the entire tree area because these are just like really thick, brushy areas with trees and shrubs.
No fear. I've got Jesus
So,
Christ. What
you
do
know,
got?
to have this one little
Little
dot
nothing
right there
light?
lit up with blue sky is
No balls to come
impossible.
out?
Plus, I know what's back
very
there.
obvious.
It's just more
Not a big
shrubs
deal,
and
really.
trees, and there
mean,
you
it's
wouldn't
for
see
you,
the
not for
sky
me.
that low at that level. So again, watch closely
suck,
as it
though.
you'll see the
not
arch
much.
bend and sway. And after that happened, then this little light just starts traveling down the little branches. And I can feel it coming towards me. That's why I start to drive away. And sure enough, we get this big movement here in the trees. You see no other branches moving, none, just those. And that's me saying, yep, it's time to go, with my big girl voice and big girl panties on. Honestly, it's terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. Don't like it. It shouldn't be happening. None of this should. But I mean, I'm not here to convince anyone. I already know what's going on. I'm sitting here sharing it with you. It takes a lot to share things like this, but this is something I've been going through for well over 5 years. Probably going on 7 years now.
In the class?
Thick and heavy, and I have poured my heart and soul into
something
researching,
going on?
watching, looking, and
I'd say so.
taking video
my
and
friend
photographs
was
from
where it
every
was
angle,
just Sunday
measuring them, and comparing them
It's
to one
Sunny
another
Bob.
in order to
It was
arrive
right
at a conclusion
that bad.
that makes
Yep,
the most
as you can
sense
see, there's
to me.
nothing around
Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't
for
mean I have the
miles,
answers.
just to show
But what
you.
it means is, it's
Just
a
to
pretty
show you,
good,
it's a pretty
dang good
good
educated guess
Just saying, it's
for someone that's
pretty
gone through it
desolate out
that
here.
long and experienced it that up close and personal. I mean, you gotta give me an E for effort
Wide
here
open,
because
Pastor,
it is
more wide open and
not
more
easy
further out
at
than
all
what
to
I
go
ever
through
was
this.
before.
Even harder to share it.
Yeah.
The world points and laughs.
Into
And
that.
they don't want to believe you. I mean, why
So,
would
yeah,
they?
this is what it looks
probably
like
wouldn't
from
want
daytime, guys.
to
This
either.
would be it.
Especially a stranger
From
telling you
here,
this, nobody knowing, my actual
absolutely
character
nothing.
and
So,
my good standing.
For
and
anyone
who I
that's
am
asking
as
about
an
lives and
individual.
blah, blah,
But truth be told, I know who I am. I know the kind of person I am. I know that I don't just wake up one day seeing things and going bat-crap crazy. And I also know that there's thousands and thousands of other individuals right along with me that this has all seemingly happened to right around the same time. And it seems like somewhere, between 2015, 2017 is where most arrived to the area of their lives where they're seeing these things now. So something big happened in that time frame is, my best guess. And if anyone studied and looked into CERN or HARP, I believe that has something to do with it, now, especially CERN, because it was around 2015-ish that they really got that, particle collider up and going pretty strong. So, interdimensional portals have been open, maybe. We're seeing more. We've seen UFOs for years, I guess. The world's proclaimed this. I myself never did. My dad did as a child. We're from New Mexico. But the deal is, I do now, and one day I just suddenly started seeing them everywhere I went. Now, what are the odds, of anyone seeing a UFO once in their life, much less every single day? And then when you meet other people that are also seeing them every single day, but those that aren't awake or those that, aren't at the, I guess, moment in life where they've arrived in their spirituality maybe, they can't see it at all, but yet there's thousands of us seeing these every day now. What are the odds and chances of that? They're slim to none, right? So what that tells me is they're not just going to pick a certain handful of people, and just yep, let's go see them every single day. To me, it means somehow we've obtained the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and our senses. We can sense them. We can see them, sense them, and people can be with us and they can see them and witness them also as they're with us. But on their own, they seemingly don't. So to me, this is more along the lines of spiritual warfare, or I don't know, spirituality to some level. I don't know, spiritual something. But I mean, aliens and UFOs from another planet? I think not. Number one, the things I see in the sky, I believe, are biological, almost like a plasmatic type of entity that take on formations like ships and also airplanes, by the way, with the blinking lights. So I have to laugh and kind of giggle to myself every time people are like, oh yeah, I know the difference. If it's got blinking lights, it's definitely an airplane. I mean, like, common sense would, I guess, tell you that, right? But I mean, anyone that's anyone, like, if you truly believe that they're aliens, even from outer space, right? They've traveled light years away. Well, number one, their ship would have burned up. That's not even possible, according to what we've been told. But just say, let's just entertain the thought. So, for instance, just say that they did travel here, right? Why are we seeing them? Why are they only coming to a few of us? And why has nobody ever got one clear, good picture of them, like actual hardcore proof? I mean, if you think about this, right? And, people want to laugh and point fingers all day long, but truth be told, it has been going on for many, many, many years. It has, without a doubt. Well before, I was born. So we know that if we put that into the factor of, and then us into the factor that all of a sudden there's even more of us, and then all of a sudden the military comes out and they're like, yep, we're definitely seeing them. They're there, and they show us bits and pieces and clips here and there of what they've seen, which, by the way, is nothing compared to some of the footage that some of us have. It's actually pretty crappy footage, if you ask me. I mean, all of a sudden, all at once, it's almost as if they know that something's happened, or as if they know CERN or something, some portal, something, and it's making itself more known and more present than ever. That's just me thinking out loud here, because it wouldn't make sense any other way. You can't call us delusional. There's too many of us going through it and saying the same thing, and most of us very, very normal walks of life, normal tax-paying good citizens, just, going through the motions like everyone else. So it's beyond being dubbed delusional. It's beyond being dubbed anything of a psychiatric problem or issue. I'm going to call their bluff right now. They're hiding something. They know about this. I believe it is interdimensional, and I believe it's also specifically what the Bible also spoke of. And Enoch, the book of Enoch, speaks of this. It's not like it's something new, but it did say, in those days, towards the end, there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. And here we are, we're having blood moons and blue moons and eclipses. And I mean, come on, it was like 300 years before we had the last ones of those. And all of a sudden, we're just going to get 20 in a row? I mean, give me a break. There's something going on. And for people to be sleeping through it and not noticing this also tells me that there's an issue, because it is so clear. I mean, and I must ask, have we been dumbed down that much that people literally can look at the sky now and see the shapes, the forms, and the color contrasts, and just the very, very geometrical right angles and sharp turns, and geometrical shapes in the sky that could never naturally be formed according to what our social conditioning classes told us, according to, our structured system. And we have been dumbed down, and they've been using so many things on us. This is my opinion again. I mean, if you guys want to say I wear a tinfoil hat, that's okay. I can rock it better than you can just wear a regular ball cap, and you still look stupid, okay? So that's not being very nice on my part, I know, but I do get tired of it, because I mean, some of us are quite wise, and you would be quite wise to listen to us when we're telling you something's going on, something, in our opinion, and most of ours, a biblical aspect, without doubt, actually. I mean, and for anyone that ever was a self-proclaimed atheist before,
you got that much, right?
I would highly suggest that you rethink some things, period. Because now would be a good time, because these are the signs of the times. This is happening. It's real.
Very obvious.
Very real. Very in your face stuff.
I mean, it's
very
for
normal
you,
people seeing this, all of a sudden waking up, and people are waking up every day. And don't be surprised if tomorrow it's your family or your brother or your sister or someone you know. And here you are saying not so, not so. Don't be surprised, because it's going to happen. It's happening every day. People are waking up. And I'm here to tell you, we also need to be on our very, very, very best behavior, and with our game faces on and ready, with full armor, because what's coming, what is coming for us is not an alien invasion, nothing like that. This is all of a demonic level. I don't care what anyone says. There's no one, and Rex Bear gets out there and he's like, "Hi, I'm your friend. Take me for a ride," and he thinks he's joking and being funny. And the thing is, do not ever do that. Do not toy with that. Do not even cater to the thought that they might be here for your own benefit or good. Because here's why. Anything that's got to hide in the shadows and in the dark and just linger and only make themselves known or appear to just some but not all, they're not your friends. Anything that's got to be sneaky and sly like that is not here to look after your well-being and what's in your best interest. Of this, I can assure you. It is not rocket science when it comes to that. And NASA doesn't even know what rocket science is, by the way, just racket science, but not rocket science. The moon landing, I'm questioning that even now. I don't believe we ever landed there. The moon itself, I believe, is something different. More of a, I guess, so to speak, satellite, maybe. I believe it's a satellite. And there's a dark side of the moon for a reason, but I'm also starting to wonder if there's a dark side of the Earth and something beyond Antarctica. I'm uncertain and unbiased when it comes to flat Earth or round Earth. I tend to go with what biblically is sound in my heart, because we know that the Bible has been interpreted multiple times, and the Hebrew language as well as the earliest languages are so very different than ours, with so many avenues and meanings and adjectives, and just it's completely different than the English language. So we do know that, but we also know that the living word is in our DNA. It lives within us. So your instinct's usually right. You don't second guess yourself. If you have a gut feeling about something, 9 times out of 10, you're probably right. And I would stay true to yourself, and I wouldn't listen to what people tell you or what you see on TV. I completely encourage each and every single one of you to use your own eyes, your own ears, and investigate these things yourself. But don't just look at, things here and there or what appeals to you. You have to actually delve into this deeply. It's not a game. And you're going to find things that you don't agree with or that you want to lean towards, but I encourage you to explore every avenue and sit there, and through process of elimination, you are going to arrive to your truth. And I don't have the answers, but I have arrived at my truth. And the truth is, there is a God. There is a heaven. There is hell. And Satan is here. And he is the ruler and the leader of evil and the principalities of the air. And he's been here. And he is chained in the pits of it. But his minions are here, freely roaming around. And they come in human form or every form. And the Bible specifically says, do not be surprised. There might be a time when you might be entertaining an angel. And in my opinion, this means good angels, bad angels, but in human form that you wouldn't even know. You would never even suspect. So don't forget that. Don't forget to go out with your full armor on, your head on your shoulders, your heart right, and your mind right. Because right now is the time that you're going to need it the most. We're in crunch time, guys. We're in crunch time, and I know this is just one simple video, but those of you that have followed me long enough, for over the years, you know what I've shown. You know that I speak truth. I know, or you guys wouldn't continue to follow me, and you wouldn't, leave your comments and the things that you experience yourself. And I encourage all of you to speak and talk, because the more we share these things, the more we share our experiences, the more that we have the capability of arriving at a better conclusion, a more trustworthy conclusion than what's been shoved down our throats and, deemed like gospel by our leaders, who are just nothing but a handful of elitist Satanists and little demons with little heads and smaller heads, if you get my drift. Like, they have no couth, but they do not care about you. They're not here to look out for you. Don't think that you're living in the country that you thought, because the country that you thought you were living in is everything but that. Everything but what you thought it was. In fact, quite the opposite. So, one nation under God, what happened to that? With liberty and justice for all? No more, guys. It's gone. They've taken that. It's time to wise up. It's time to stand up. And it's time to prepare and be ready and be in the fight. Be in the fight, guys. It is time, and I'm not kidding. Don't be afraid. The Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us all the tools that we need, all the knowledge, and He said, you don't need to be afraid as long as you walk beside me, as long as you belong to me and you're my child. You have nothing to fear.
Lies and blah blah.
But it is that time, guys, to give it over to Him, to give your life to Him, because I'm telling you, it's real. It can't get any more real. If you're experiencing any of these supernatural things, that right there should be enough said, like an in-your-face moment, that if that's real, then you got to know that your Creator is even more real, because it didn't come from nowhere. It came from one and only, and it wasn't a little fart in the air. It's like, bam, here we are. Nope, doesn't happen like that. That's just ignorant. So, yep, I said that, and I do mean that part. Your Lord God loves you. He will never leave you or forsake you, but you have to. You have to turn to Him. You have to hold on to Him. You have to cling to Him, because in the end, that's all we've got. And that's all we need as well. So, but we also need our voices. We need to save as many as we can. As many as we can, guys. And with that said, I love you. I love every one of you. And I wish all of you the most wonderful blessings in life, but I will tell you it's going to get rocky. So I just encourage you to hold on, buckle up, be ready, and get your armor on. And don't worry, I'm here with you too. I'm not leaving you. Love you guys.